Welcome back to your local news. Has your child been suffering from eye and skin irritation, headaches, dizziness, nausea, drowsiness, weakness, or confusion? If so, you may have a toxin problem. Later tonight at 11, we will have our toxic guest, toluene, and you can learn more about it. Welcome back to your local news. Here we are with our special guest, toluene.
Hello.
Here today to tell us about his effects on the environment and humans and other species. So first off, let's talk about what you're used in. You're used in many commercial products, such as leather cleaning, glue, whiteout, air freshener, tape, even permanent markers, and spray paint, even wig adhesive. Look at all these toxic substances thanks to you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your structure. I hear that your chemical formula is C6H5CH3 or C7H8. But tell me a little bit about your class of toxin.
Well, I'm a non-competitive NMDA receptor antagonist, and I'm also a volatile organic compound, or VOC.
Alright, toluene, let's get to the important stuff about your impact on the environment. How are you introduced into the environment?
I'm introduced to the environment through waste streams, vapor in the atmosphere, and automobile emissions.
And what is the risk associated with your contamination for the U.S. environment?
Some environmental risks that are associated with me are unsafe concentrations found in seafood. Hey, I just had fish for lunch.
Don't worry, Phil. Your body will metabolize it quickly. Continue on.
Certain edible plants, cigarette smoke, and auto fuel. Auto emissions are the main source of me in the environment.
Now, do you pose a present or future threat to the safety of our environment?
I do, because I'm found in many everyday objects and humans can be exposed to it almost anywhere they go, including in their own homes.
And how long do you remain active in the environment?
I don't remain in the environment very long because I'm broken down quickly. A high concentration of me can be broken down in just a few days.
You hear that, folks? You won't have to worry too much. So, what habitats or species are most affected by you, and how do you show your effect?
The areas with the highest concentrations of me are areas with heavy vehicle traffic. Other areas where I'm found include anywhere where there's an underground storage tank that could leak, or landfills that have products that contain me in them. I have caused membrane damage to leaves and plants, and some chronic and acute symptoms in aquatic life, but the effects of it cannot be determined in mammals.
Speaking of wilted plants, I was just notified that our longtime plant that has been with us for 3 years, Genevieve, has started wilting. Thank you, toluene. You're wilting Genevieve.
You're welcome.
So toluene, tell me, are you volatile and prone to moving into the air and water?
I am a volatile substance. and I evaporate very rapidly from the soil into the air. That's why there are much higher concentrations of me in the air rather than the soil or water. It is unlikely that humans will get infected with me from a water source unless there's a huge spill nearby.
And also tell me, how are you broken down? Does the sunlight affect you or other factors? And do you bind strongly to soil particles?
When I'm in my vapor phase, I will be degraded in the atmosphere by a reaction with photochemically produced hydroxyl radicals. I may also be degraded in the atmosphere by a reaction with nitrate radicals and ozone molecules. I can also be broken down by microorganisms in surface waters. Due to my volatile qualities, I do not bind strongly to soil.
If you think you're using products that contain toluene, and you're experiencing eye and skin irritation, headaches, dizziness, nausea, confusion, weakness, or drowsiness, you may have toluene poisoning. Toluene affects the central nervous system, eyes, skin, respiratory system, liver, and kidneys. It also causes degeneration within cell nuclei and cell walls. Neurons in the hippocampus are especially affected. Now here's a short video of one of our coworkers using toluene-containing products and experiencing the harmful side effects. Please don't do this at home. So we're also wondering, are your effects synergistic or antagonistic with other environmental contaminants?
My effects are synergistic when combined with other compounds.
So now let's talk about the approximate toxic level or lethal dose of you. So case studies that reported on deaths in humans due to toluene have generally not provided very much information on the dose. In one instance of ingestion of approximately 625 milligrams per kilograms resulted in death within 30 minutes. But some other LD50 values for some other species are for female rats, 636 milligrams per kilogram. For mice, 1,150 milligrams per kilogram. And for rabbits are 1,400 milligrams per kilogram. Now, as this segment has been going on, we've been getting quite a few tweets about of people wondering what life stages are most affected by you. And we have some information right here about mothers can be very affected, especially when they are pregnant. There's a high chance for developmental problems to occur in the baby. And you shouldn't be too worried because high levels are considered between 4,000 and 12,000 ppm. And exposure to toluene does not affect the mother's ability to reproduce. Adult workers that are working in factories that make these products may be affected, and they may experience neurological symptoms with as little exposure as 50 to 130 ppm. Children are the most sensitive, and babies, because they are lower to the ground and toluene is heavier and it sinks, and babies also do not have the ability to turn this toxic chemical into less harmful chemicals in their body yet. Alrighty, toluene, our interview is almost done, but why don't you tell me about what laws or regulations have been put in place to keep you contained from humans and the environment.
OSHA has established permissible exposure limits, or PELs. For the general industry, this is a 200 ppm on an 8-hour time-weighted average, or TWA, and a 300 ppm ceiling concentration. For the construction industry, they have established a 200 ppm TWA, and for maritime industry, a 200 ppm TWA and a 100 ppm for direct skin contact. Also, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health recommendation exposure level has been set at 100 ppm on a 10-hour time-weighted average.
So, workers, you should not be worried too much. There are many laws in place to keep you safe. There are not currently any substitutes for toluene, but mercaptoric acids are being tested as a safer alternative in industry.
But we all know I'm one of a kind.
All right, toluene. Well, it has been a pleasure having you on our show and learning all about you. See you next time.